Hello everyone and welcome back to the Spearhead cast with me, Matt. We have a 3v3 for you all here on the Forgotten Battle. A pretty good and pretty narrow map actually, so we're gonna see a lot of urban action by looks of it. Because looks at the 3v3 version does not actually have that much fight outside the town. Let's go through the players. It's a Western Front battle. Represent the Axis. We got Unterkommanders der Wehrmacht, Commander Church yet. We got letting you a hand going straight out the gate with Panzerjäger tactics for the Mthis. Fascinating. And on the top, we have Milan Judge 866 as the Wehrmacht, also without a commander. Represent the Allies. We have Blah playing as the United States of America with Ranger Company straight at the gate. We have Ralph Roberts, also the United States, without a commander, however. And on the top, we have a British player. Deadwood Tangent playing as the British, and they just went for Royal Tank. This should be interesting. So I had a little bit of a busy weekend, so you're going to be seeing this in the start of the week, but this is like the first time I've had a little bit of time off for myself this weekend, so I'm going to make the most of it while I can. Looks like we're just having the troops move out as usual. Nothing too special at the start here. Pioneers moving up through the forest and heading into the town slowly. We are seeing the 17 SS Grenadiers come in here, which is a cheaper rind you can get. You're playing as Panzerjäger instead of having Sturm Grenadiers. And looks like they got up for an early tech up because they're relying on the cheaper units. Intriguing, so we might see Panzer Grenadiers come out early for lending you a hand. Looks like we also have command chairs up here. Looks like it is Wehrmacht Panzer. Still no command chairs from Unterkommander, however. No command chairs from Ralph Roberts yet. But the sides are soon going to engage one another. This will be in the north, central, south of this town. It's very narrow, so there'll be a lot of fighting where they can support one another. Lots of Grenadiers coming out here for the Panzer Division. It's typical 1-1-1 start here for Unterkommander. Folks, Grenadiers, and Pioneers. But we are seeing a bunch of the echelon moving up here. They might soon get the shots off. They're trying to get some Czech hedgehogs set up here. Try and prevent any vehicles from getting through. They also provide heavy cover. But first shots are fired up there. Oh, and in the center by looks of it, by some folks Grenadiers against some echelon. But Americans are moving to flank through the houses. This could be a problem for these folks Grenadier. Definitely a problem. Getting cut to pieces now, the SS Grenadier in the building. Zappers might not last too long against all these folks coming up here, as well as Grenadiers coming up. Lots of fighting going on early, but the Americans will do better in close to medium range thanks to their semi-automatic weaponry. Oh, good grenade assault there. Now the Germans gonna move through here. I think there's like a small path you can walk through, unless they remove that. But there's a lot of Czech hedgehogs being prepared by Blah. Probably in preparation for the later parts of the game, but lots of Americans moving to the center. Taking up position in this residential area. Using all the houses to their advantage. Germans need to get some more troops into the field though. We are seeing an early HQ set up here by the Waffen-SS. SS Grenadiers are doing their best from their positions. Americans are in somewhat of a crossfire here. The cover will not help all that much in that angle. And the Germans are threatening the northern field now. Which means the Germans could get both of the field points. They consider a 30 cal to cover the south here. So it looks like the Rangers is going to go for a position to dig in with. The Americans are suffering heavy loss in the center, so they'll be drawing. 30 cal has been set up, but that might not be the best of idea. Pioneers trying to rush up so they can throw a Gebalderladung. Grenade going in though. Getting hits. And they still need more munitions for the Gebalderladung. Should be able to throw it now. Throw it behind the door, very smart. And that's a dead vertical. It's a good work area from the Germans. And a lot of good teamwork here early on. So the Allies are a little bit in the back foot. We are starting to see some rifle sections coming up for the tank regiment for the British. Still no command chairs from Ralph Roberts. SS Panzerjäger squad in the field, as well as an Untersturmführer, so it looks like Lin in your hand is going for early officers and support. Oh, looks like we have an Infanterie. Okay, so Infanterie, Panzerjäger, and Panzer. Pretty good combination. They can generally supplement each other very well. An MG42? It's so hard to tell. That's an MG42. You can see on the barrel there. It would be more rounded if it was the MG34. Oh, 30 cal's been stolen by the Germans. Guess they can make use of that machine gun. MG42 arriving here for the Panzer Grenadier. Manned by Panzer Grenadiers, actually. Pretty handy thing. Pretty good retinue. Post Grenadiers being equipped with MP40s, and they have been handled with egg grenades. Interesting. Those MP40s is kind of good for this kind of environment. Very urban and close range. But Germans are digging in along the front now that they have the advantage, because they got both fuel points, so the Allies really have to figure out how to push. Because being suppressed there by the MG42. And already pinned. MG42 proved to be a very lethal machine gun as always. Reloading there. Oh, incendiary armor piercing loaded. Fascinating choice. I'm not sure that it improves any damage against infantry, however. It might provide penetration against the building, but the Brits got in a good position here. That MG42 crew might be in trouble. Yeah, they're being shot to pieces. Good flank from the Force Grenadiers, but they did not help just yet. The Brits are just well too entrenched inside there. And now the Germans on the run here. So we have a little bit of a mortar emplacement being prepared here by Untercommander. Nice to see. Cover does actually help your mortars if they're in like a position like this. It'll protect them from TLs that lands right next to them thanks to the sandbags, so it's worth doing. Little mortars being prepared by British and some more specialized infantry.
What are your orders?
Port HQ set up here by the United States. Sandbags also being prepared so they can hold it easier. So far the Germans still have somewhat the upper hand. The Brits have not been able to take the fuel point yet. More Germans are rushing up to try and prevent the British from being able to take it. MT-42 being recruited, but that might be in a bad spot at the moment. Yeah, trying to get away with it. Ah, but they got killed out in the open road there. Not worth trying to save it unless you can get some support for it. Grenadiers threw a smoke grenade. That's how you do it. And with smoke, they might have the ways to get out of there. Half-track also riding for the Panzers. It looks like that'll save the MT-42. Good job with the smoke grenade. So if you try and set up those artillery, but he's being pinned by a vertical. Panzerjägers in the town here with a Panzerschreck. German vertical also opening fire. Also we have a command choice from Ralph Roberts. I think that is mechanized. So it is. Oh, good mortars here landing straight on the American vertical. But the British should be starting to get their mortars now too. Here we have some specialized infantry, the 11th Hussars, as well as the 1st Assault Brigade. Half-track is trying to keep the British at bay here with its MG42. But it's not lacking any weapon to really kill this thing at range. Yet.
New anti-tank gun has arrived.
Germans are taking up quite well down here. Lots of machine guns being set up and some bunkers as well. Sandbag fighting positions going up all over the place. On the northern flank we seem to have a lot more action in this little barn area. Rifle grenade did not do much. Good attempt though. They're already being equipped with the scope Sturmgewehr with the Vampire scope, which is the unique upgrade to Grenadiers if you're playing as Panzer. Very, very good weapon by the way, but you only get one of them compared to two STGs like you normally would. Need to get behind cover. At least the half-track is helping. Aufklar here for the Wehrmacht, also double mortar, and Lieutenant for the infantry. Then before 2 decide that bomb will prevent any Americans from moving up here for a while. The Germans are preparing to do some kind of push. Half-track is on the move. British is still lacking an AT equipment, and a mine is being prepared. It might be too late. Lots of fighting going on here. Good fighting position set up by the infantry. Oh, counter barrage shell hitting right between the sandbags. Very good there from the Americans. Artillery going into here. Oh, vertical has been decrewed and destroyed by the Americans there. American artillery is definitely leading the way. And now the American riflemen is going to go in with their BARs. Hope here inside the barn, that might actually be a weapon that can deal with the half-track. If they can get a shot on it. Need to be cautious. And they're not finding the Piat for some reason. Where am I? Definitely not a good thing for the... Oh, there it goes. It misses though. And the Americans flanked in from the residential area, killing a lot of Germans and forcing them to get out of the area. Germans suffered a lot of losses. We also have some Rangers hiding here. And the German positions aren't looking too well at the moment. They might be overrun by the Americans if they keep pushing. And all the mortar support is also helping. Grenades going out as well from the Rangers. And now they're going to move in with it. Oh, they just killed all the Germans there. Now the Rangers are going to push up with their Thompsons. Rangers lead the way, motherfucker. They have to get out there. There's just too many Germans still. Will the Rangers die? Looks like the Rangers get out of there. That's good for them. What's Hillary going into? American Lieutenant did go down, however. White phosphorus shells are landing. And on the northern flank, the Germans are still holding the fuel. Yeah, they still need to find a way to get the Germans off the fuel points. Lieutenant leading the front line from the German infantry again. Ranger recon squads on the field with a 30 caliber. And we have a big mortar fight going on. Both sides are trying to out-mortar the other. Rifle grenade going out here from the Ranger recon. Doesn't look like it fired though. Oh, good counter barrage then again for the Americans. The American boys are doing an amazing job on the counter barraging today. Panzer 2 command tank for the Wehrmacht Panzer Division. Looks like the Panzer Division is slowly getting some headway on the northern flank against the British. They're being called in here by the command tank. Looks like the Germans have the upper hand on, well, the Americans. Oh, like, my mind is all over the place. Ugh. The Germans have the upper hand at the moment. The British and Americans are taking a lot of losses. Oh, Jägers have been called in. Unique squad available to infantry designed to fight in rocket terrain. Or they're being upgraded with a Sturmgewehrs by the looks of it. A pretty potent squad. And more mines to be laid in the street here by the Germans now. Good in preparation for the potential chance to get pushed back. Folks Grenadier is very low, should probably retreat them. And they are, good. SS Grenadiers now being equipped with Sturmgewehrs, unique upgrades them as Panzerjäger. Really damn good upgrade for them actually. Can really improve their combat effectiveness. British are trying to get into the barn here again. Germans are trying to keep it under a fuselage of fire though. Water shells going for the pack. Pack is slowly taking losses. The half-track is still fine. Command 2 looks is getting into position to find the barn. America's moving into the town here again. Then Thompson on the flank, but the Sturmgewehr's all in at the building. More artillery going into the area as well.
New items can now be built.
And this part of the map is just getting shredded. And the British are going to suffer heavy losses there.
The squad's gone.
So many people are dying here. We also have some mechanized troopers and combat engineers with flamethrowers. Good choice for the environment. Throwing a white phosphorus grenade and jumping into the building. Good flank of them. Yes, and the Germans just suffered heavy losses here. And American company engineers is a really good choice for this kind of an urban environment. I think that's kind of what they're specialized in fighting in. But the Jaegers in the outside here is going to be a lot more accurate. Rangers going into the area as well. And we have some grenadiers on the flank here with a scope gewehr for E3. That's actually a really good position because all 5 windows are here. White phosphorus landing on the German front line. Rangers going into the residential area as well. Double tank hunters for the British. They really want to take out that command tank. I guess the half-track as well. The British are just lacking in infantry, however. Because I don't think tank hunters really count as proper infantry. They also cannot capture territory, by the way. Now they're being shut up by the Germans here.
Mortars are ready to create
Get overshot.
for any vehicles that need crew repairs.
We do have a Sherman here riding for the United States. Lots of mortar shells going out. Or just shells in general. Part of the residential buildings on fire. This town is really getting into a hotspot of fighting. Germans should not get close. There's a flamethrower inside that building. Command's still getting up the street. This is a good urban fight. Holy shit, I like this. Well, it's very rare we see good urban fights. Sherman going off with the residential Panzer. Jaegers are reloading their Panzerschreck. Missed because of all the debris here. Forced the Germans to pull back again. Understorm is calling in an artillery strike. Artillery landing on this part of the residential area as well. And this poor town or city. Probably just more like a town in all honesty, but still, it's taking some big hits. Panzer's trying to get into position here. Jaegers trying to move as well. Fighting the United States lieutenant, forcing him to get back. And more mortar shells landing around the German front line. Not hitting too much. Ooh, Stuck got a good shot at the Sherman. Forced the Sherman to back off. And got the Sherman, its ammo's cooking off. The German half-track is still holding up pretty admirably. British sitting up some Czech hedgehogs. And they got a Sherman Mark V. They just need to pull out to the front line. You know, the Americans pushing up through the streets again. And the SS Grenadiers are doing their best here with their Sturmgewehrs. Coming here, trying to get close. White phosphorus grenade going out. But it's just shorter range.
Just got a report of an infantry unit being wiped out.
And so many artillery strikes here. This is a brutal 3v3.
Enemy contact! Infantry in force! Listen up.
Rangers have not been able to push up down here, though the Germans still got this area pretty well covered. Meanwhile, the Panzer Division is slowly getting more units, like the Großdeutschland has been called in. Unique recon squad, that's also a really good elite combat squad for you if you're playing as SS Panzer, as Wehrmacht Panzer. Made to support your tanks, you can only have one of them in the field at a time. Really damn good squad, by the way. Being equipped with a scope gewehr 43, evidently.
We have T-43s. Now we can kill with impunity. Ready to do our bit.
But just still need to get that Sherman moving, and all the squads moving out as well. Lots of Rangers being assembled by the United States. Lots of elite combat infantry. The British are starting to dig in with Czech hedgehogs and Vickers fighting positions. Mortar shells landing with smoke to try and obscure the Americans' advance. So the Rangers are moving in. They really want to secure this urban area for some reason. They need to be cautious. Satchel charge. Oh, they're blowing up a bunch of the German defenses. Very smart, destroying these buildings and destroying that fighting position. And also securing the point at the same time. And now the Germans are moving in again. Ooh, another German mortar taken up by a counter barrage. Veteran 5 German infantry now. I guess someone has been using the Kampfkraft Center a lot here. Yeah, that's definitely what they've been doing. So it looks like we have then you hand you making good use of the Kampfkraft Center above of the infantry. Attack moving up here for the Germans.
Time to unleash our heavy tanks.
Lots of American infantry coming in though. High explosive loader here in the pack. High explosive not hit anything. One Ranger squad did go down though. Artillery is being called in by the American captain. Like around here. Counterbarrage is being called in by the Untersturmführer. Immobilize the command Stuck. Special charge going into the buildings. Will the Jaegers get out? No. Another part of the residential area collapsed. This poor part of town, holy shit. Ship Mark 5 has finally arrived here on the other flank. Alongside some New Zealanders. Now, are the Panzer Grenadiers prepared for this? It doesn't look like they are. That pack could still get some good shots in, like we see there, and the Panzerfaust are coming on the flank now. Pack got taken out. Sherman is down. But the British still have the advantage of that half track and all their infantry pushing up. I think the Panzer Grenadiers just lost this fight. Großdeutschland has probably see if they can get out of there. That's a lot of New Zealanders coming their way. Oh, they're not getting out of there, are they? Looks like, no. I think that... Yeah, it's gone. He's gone.
We have lost a squad.
The fight continues in the formal residential area. Lots of artillery shells. So the command Stuck also went down. More combat community is coming in, but there's an MG42 on the main street. Germans are still holding most of their southern front line. That a pack 88. Yeah, an 88 is being established on the southern front line. I don't deny any American vehicles coming up this road. Because the New Zealanders have jumped inside the half track and go for some kind of flank. They're pushing far behind the Wehrmacht lines here, but I don't see anything to stop them really. So the British can just drive up very far. Only one Fox Grenadier is moving out here. 30 Mark IV is also being prepared behind us. Now they should not get too... Oh, these Fox Grenadiers don't have any Panzerfausts. So that's a dead squad. So the New Zealanders are pushing really far up. Isn't there any base defense? There's no base defense on this map. Oh boy. That could be a problem for the Wehrmacht. Because they lack any AT equipment here. And well, Robert's dropped. Well, that's a problem. Wonder why they dropped, but did they disconnect or something? Regardless, we're already pretty far in here. We might as well just keep watching. I was also informed this was a very long match, so it's also been interesting so far. But yeah, we'll be able to get like the hidden unit in here. The 5th Infantry squad you normally cannot get as a player. Well, the Brits have pushed pretty far behind the German line here. Command 2 coming out though.
Unfortunately, we've lost a unit.
Well, the Germans still moving into the center. They got some 17s SS Panzergrenadiers. Very good squad. Now the American AI now from Ralph Roberts will be very aggressive. The AI can be exceptionally aggressive with its units. Yeah, the Brits are getting more and more troops out here to secure their front line. But the New Zealanders out here is not going to last long against the Panzer II. Probably pushed a little bit too far up.
Enemy got one of our squads.
Blasting up a long Tom. Okay, so they're really going heavy there. I guess it'll be up to the Rangers to push forward. So one problem with the AI is it's not really that good at coordinating, obviously. So it just moves its units all around the place randomly. Like, I'm not sure what the AI... Oh, they're shooting at this. Because they're considering that an enemy thing. So we're calling in on the forward area here for the Americans. But the Rangers are pushing up their Ranger recon squads. All being equipped with verticals. Very big battle still. Now we have a big American push here from the AI. And the 2 is probably gonna have to work overtime. And here's the Churchill, which is a pretty damn heavy tank for the British, so it'll be able to push through most of what the Wehrmacht Panzer has unless they can get something heavy. Here comes the Rangers. And being equipped with a lot of close combat weapons like the Thompsons and the carbines. But you're just moving out in the open there, that's not gonna work. Ooh, long time opening fire though. Good satchel charge there, so you managed to get a satchel charge off. Destroying that trench entirely. Was in the center here. Then your hand has lost practically everything. And a long Tom is still just blastering the front line. But I think now's the chance the British have to push up if they want. The Churchill's still driving along the edge of the map here. We also have a Comet arriving. Not looking too good for the Germans at the moment, actually. Battlefield's getting completely wrecked.
We lost an infantry unit. They got wiped out.
Tank under squads have also been calling here for the Americans. And another Vickers K position set up by the British.
They got wiped out.
Yeah, you might also steal this pack. It looks like that was their intent. British are still holding on here. So will Mark 5 being prepared. 76 riding here for the Americans.
Gun crew just got wiped out.
Two big shells landing there.
Tank ready.
Here's the Churchill with the Comet coming up behind it. So a very powerful tank force here for the British in short order. More fighting going on here. Lots of artillery shells landing as well. Equaling that 3-inch.
Just got a report of an infantry unit being wiped out.
But the long tom is definitely going to be a big deal here, if they can just keep utilizing it correctly. Ooh, Panther 2 spotted the long tom. The Germans are just lacking any gear to stop the Churchill.
We're ready for the air.
Like, the Comet is also a problem. It actually took out the Panther 2.
Tank commander awaiting next orders. Standing by.
Austin holding it up there. Panzer Grenadiers and more Grenadiers coming out to the front line. With the Panzer Grenadiers being equipped with an LMG 42 100 rounds and a Panzer's Wreck. Really good combination, makes them pretty good against all targets, really. It's not easy to use a Panzer's Wreck out in the open like that. More American infantry coming up here. Now in the open here with no cover, the Panzer Grenadiers are just easy to kill. And the British could just keep pushing up here. But they probably don't know if there's been anything prepared in the rear line. This is why you probably want to lay mines if you're Germans, because it can help if you get pushed back. Long Tom bringing fire down here. What's the second Long Tom? Oh, these Germans are suffering heavy loss from that. Especially because it's so close range fire. Austin pushing up very aggressively. But here comes the Shermans. Tank hunter might go inside the building. Ooh, that's a command Sherman. Taking out those twins. Rangers are pushing up. And that's an MG42 here still. Double MG42 actually, because the Grenadiers also have one. But the British are now pushing up with their armored forces. I don't think the Germans have anything up here to stop it. They are getting a pack though. Long Tom's now firing down here, probably a good choice. I think the Germans might have to consider preparing a retreat position. Well, a fallback position with his next line of defense. Because the Allied artillery and armored forces are starting to overwhelm them here. It honestly surprises me that the Allies seem to be winning pretty fast here. What are the Germans going to do to turn this around, if they even can, is what I'm wondering. We are seeing some Grenadiers, or Panzer Grenadiers trying to get out on the flank here.
Our soldiers are trained to advance rapidly.
That pack is going to have a very hard time. They're already being decrewed. The Germans are just lacking any gear up here. And the British armored forces are just, tank forces just pushing up so far. Church has been converted to a new HQ for the Waffen-SS. Looks like the British are going to go in for the kill. Actually, if the... I know what they're going for. They're going for King Tiger, aren't they? Like, if he gets a little bit more manpower, he's going to start working on the King Tiger. But will it arrive in time? He also needs to start building it now. We do have a Jagdpanzer arriving, and indeed the King Tiger is now in production. Or being requisitioned, rather. The British armored forces are pushing in very aggressively, however. Panzer Rex is inside the building. Comet down. German down. I think the British moved a little bit too fast here. Because now they're getting in, being killed off one by one here. The Churchill's still holding on though, but Panzer penetrates. Well, Panzerfaust actually. Another Panzerfaust. Hitting the Sherman there. Explosive loaded here by the Panzerjäger. Wehrmacht is losing buildings, but they're not losing the important building. Panzer 4-8 arriving up to help as well. And once that King Tiger gets onto the field, that might be a big problem for the Allies. And now the British tank forces are suffering losses thanks to the Jagdpanzer. British infantry did do a lot of damage, but I don't think it was enough. They did use the HQ though. The command looks, and soon the King Tiger will be on the field. It looks like Million has just gone straight for the King Tigers, his main thing. As more American tanks are preparing to push in. Range is pushing up as well. Getting such a charge. That's going to destroy that HQ, by the way. Only one of them is enough. Germans are still able to hold the southern flank for now, but I don't think it'll last for long. Don't have many units here anymore. Where's the King Tiger? There it is. Now that'll be able to deal with practically anything the Allies can throw at it frontally. Because they don't have any Soviets on their side. More shells landing from the long toms. I guess now the King Tiger can start to show its worth. Pretty big battle. That one shot is from the King Tiger's all it takes. The Allies still have the long toms that can beat it. And we are seeing some Panzer forces for the infantry division helping on the southern flank. So many artillery shells. Now the Germans have some way of pushing back. Well, the King Tiger is not best used against infantry with its 88mm. That's why I generally personally prefer to get the MD42 on top. That can really help deal with infantry. Oh, looks like the Germans are stealing a Beuter Panzer. Now the Germans can slowly push the British back if they just keep up the pressure. One of 5 Sherman and everything else for the AI. The AI is just pulling in a lot of stuff. But the King Tiger is pushing. Also has some Panzergrenadier support from the Waffen-SS. Long Tom is getting a new target. The Germans are wanting to do a push down here. But too many 80 gonna stop it. King Tiger getting ready to move again. Panzer just pulling down more squads. Let's see, not much else is happening yet, just more fighting down here. Ship 76 pushing up against the Germans. We'll still fight a heat shield, I think that was. Panzer 4H gets the kill. Looks like the Stu is gonna go for the MG4 for the long tom. There we go, decrewing it. Germans are still making a comeback here thanks to their combined efforts. They really did need to coordinate at this point. Because the allies were in their base. It's good to see that they're making a comeback somewhat. Still a little bit of a sad side for the allied side that Ralph Roberts dropped. Probably, I'd hope it was internet issues rather than, or game issues rather than deliberate. That's at least what I'll go with. Big escape position is present. It has to reload, however. Are the Rangers gonna try and fight against the King Tiger? Well, if they can get close enough, they can throw satchel charges. Oh, anti-infantry grenades being thrown out from its launches. Because I forgot that German tanks have that ability unless you upgrade them with smoke. What the hell was that? The long-term used an armor-piercing shell? I did not know the long-term could actually be utilized as an AT gun. I guess it makes sense. It almost killed the King Tiger. Ooh, tank is going over for it. Ah, he got shut down.
We lost an infantry unit. They got wiped
Boy, the
out.
Panzer is also present now for the Germans. Command Panzer 4J holding down here. Took a big shot there from the EC8 command tank. King Tiger needs repairs immediately, as we have more British armor arriving. That Panzer moving to intercept. King Tiger can also get some shots in, destroying that Sherman. I think the Panzer Division should probably get some Panzer Grenadiers to support their troops rather than just relying on normal Grenadiers, but that's just my opinion. We don't really have a lot of resource anymore because the King Tiger takes up so much upkeep. It's like a Stuart tried to push up down here but got stopped. Oh, King Tiger's been immobilized by the artillery shell. That's not good for the Germans at all. The long toms could start shelling it. Good attempt there from the Sherman, but not enough. It's been covered on the flank here. But these two have thermos grenades if they can get close enough. Now they're being suppressed. Meanwhile, more American Shermans trying to push up. Panzer 4J still, H actually is keeping them at bay. But I think all the Germans need repairs down here. Let's see. Now the Germans definitely need repairs set up down here. They are getting repairs from this shed at the moment. So far, the Germans are somewhat stabilized despite everything. The King Tiger's almost repaired again. They have a lot of coordination going on up here, which is probably a good sign. Because they need to coordinate to save this King Tiger. Keep it operational. Ooh, Sherman is finished off a Beute Panzer there. More Panzer Grenadiers have arrived. Ready to support the King Tiger's shop, probably. Being equipped with MP40s and an MG42, a pretty good choice. Some Czech Hedgehogs being prepared by the British, who really don't have a lot of stuff at the moment. Holding the Churchill Mark 7 here with some New Zealanders.
Infantry tank, ready to go. Assault gun standing. Keep your heads down and be ready to go.
This battle really turned big here. Armor goes off in the abandoned Sherman. Panzer is almost down here. Panzer down.
Our Panzer forces have been reduced by one.
King Tiger is ready to move again. The Germans just need to get it going. Now the Allies are setting up everything they need to try and take it out. They realize the King Tiger really is the problem. I think the Germans are ready to move here. Scamming some wrecks, good to see. A big push coming out here for the Germans. Jagd also being prepared. Ooh, I think the King Tiger is relocating to another flank. Flag is also being established to help hold the front line. Long Tom is still present here, but needs to be cautious when he decides to shoot. Panzer 4H is going to reveal itself. Long Tom could fire an armor-piercing shell here. Will probably insta-kill it, but I guess the 3 inches immobilizing it first. Oh, bazooka shots get it. Bazooka shot gets it. King Tiger moving for the destroyed residential area.
We are losing Soldat.
Probably still be equipped with an MG42 on top, I feel. Greyhound down to one big 88 shell. Artillery being called under Long Tom. Decrewing it.
Just got wiped out.
Which means the Germans could probably use it if they can get close to it. But very hard, but it is because K covering it. Yeah, not the easiest to get through. There we go, they got it though, thanks to the Jagdpanzer and the Panzerschreck. Sherman pushing up. There's still the King Tiger here. Ours has been crewed by the AI for some reason. The C8 present to hold the center here, which the King Tiger should be able to kill. Thanks to its 88mm. That one shot's all it takes. The King Tiger is now veteran to 2, by the way, so it's getting better and better at its job. Now, he could give it a Panzer Officer if he wants to make it better in tank-to-tank fighting. But I personally always just go for the MG42 because it helps against infantry. And for coming up for the Panzer Division, so I guess the Germans are turning this battle around. Ooh, definitely quite a battle. And that's a Gewaltladung. Yeah, decrewing the Long Tom again. And we have an F8 arriving using a high explosive shell, so good choice. Looks like the Russian SS has been called in. Let's see what the British are doing. We got that Churchill moving now. Need to be cautious though. And the Allies are slowly being creeped back now thanks to the combined action of the Germans. Russian SS are trying to fight against the Churchill. Bazooka they picked up did not penetrate. That one penetrated though. F8 down. Jagdpanzer might be able to kill the Churchill here. Penetrate did not kill it though. And there it goes. There are more Rangers coming out. They're trying to kill the Germans as they fall back. And the King Tiger's holding the center now. But Germans still need to find a way to push. But I think with a Panther for support, they'll definitely have the proper armor for it. And the Stu down here is being utilized pretty well by the infantry division. Grenade got from the re-echelon. Good grenade, killing the pioneers. So many buildings getting destroyed though. That's two command tank went down. Easy hit pushing up on the infantry division's lines. 88 takes it out though. Panther pushing on the northern flank. The British do not have a lot of equipment at the moment. They're getting a lot of Piats though to try and deal with the German armor, I guess. Not sure why it popped its anti-infantry grenades there. Yeah, the German front line is holding. Jagdtiger is also in the fields. Let's see, what's the armor difference? 2,800 on the King Tiger. 3,100 on the Jagdtiger. No wonder no one can fight this thing frontally. That's a ridiculous amount of armor. And we have the Panther at 1,600. I think the Germans might have this covered for now. They just need to keep pushing somehow. Which is probably the harder part because they're facing an AI that just keeps getting units in. Oh, Sherman push here being prepared by Blah. And I'm trying to overwhelm the German tank position. Be very careful with it. You don't just rush in frontally against German tanks. Or just tanks in general. Especially a Panther. Panther at the front to you is actually pretty hard to get through. Not to mention the Jagdtiger behind it. Well, Rangers have also been prepared for it. Germans going in. Oh, we're very cautious here. Panther's being very brave. It's being used as bait. Because now the Jagdtiger is going to get into position. But shows him win before I can fire. His Panther might be in trouble. Yeah, with his rear shot, it's dead. Panther gets hits one Sherman though. King Tiger has to get into another position, I feel. One Sherman down. You don't want to get your King Tiger flanked, so I guess that's why he has the infantry nearby. Or they have the infantry nearby. Americans are still somewhat pushing back thanks to their Rangers. But the British cannot win with just pushing heavy tanks against the German anti-tank vehicles. But a long time will definitely help. Heavy German anti-tank armor is pushing forwards. King-Tiger still holds the center with some Großdeutschland. And more Germans are dying on the front line. British are grabbing all the Piats they can get. Stu took a penetrating shot there from something, probably a 3-inch. Definitely a long match, as I did say when I got it. Yet did not penetrate the front of the Jagdpanzer. Panzerfaust going out, because New Zealanders have captured Panzerfaust, I forgot that. But the Piet just does not penetrate the front of these vehicles. Germans are pushing down the main street. There are mines on the road though. Oh, mine did not do any damage actually. With Panzerfaust though.
A medium tank was just lost.
The King Tiger needs to keep backing off. I think he's got this covered, but the bazooka could be a problem. German's too close. Composite B going out though. Oh, that might be a problem for the King Tiger. Not do that much damage, but it did stun it. Definitely needs repairs now. Because some stormtroopers now arriving for lending you a hand to supplement. Lots of British infantry is preparing to push up now. Just clumping up though is not gonna work. Just makes it easier to hit. But Germans are lacking in cover at the moment. Ooh, Piets are hitting the Panther on the side, though, killing it.
One of our panzers has been destroyed.
King Tiger still needs its repairs. But Germans still holding. They're still holding on.
Prepare to execute.
Was to be prepared by the Mthis again.
Upgrade done. So we're awaiting orders.
Another Churchill has arrived here for the British. They just need to utilize it. I know it's not the easiest thing to do, especially against what they're fighting. And the Stu just keeps racking up kills. With the Panzeroffizier, it's probably getting a lot of accuracy for its gun. And the King Tiger is ready to move out again. Definitely, the Brits have a lot of stockpile of UEs they could utilize. Guess they just don't know what to do with it. I know the feeling sometimes when you have that many resources, you just don't know what to do with it. Could always get some infantry in the rear to set up a second defensive line. That's always something. Gun taken out there. King Tiger is still in a good position. British is gonna try and go for the Jagdtiger. There's an MG42 here to cover them though. That's actually a vertical, never mind. Yields are not having a lot of luck penetrating it though. King Tiger is efficiency free. Gonna make it very much of a problem. But the Long Tom is trying to hit it. Suga's not really working out for the United States here. And the Su just keeps shooting all the American infantry to death. And that's reloading so fast thanks to the firing drills. Good, the King Tiger move further back, that's good to see. Oh, it's actually got a very long range. They don't notice. Wait, was that just the artillery ability? That was just the artillery ability, it looks like. Still pretty good range for this too. It's a very good support vehicle. Not much action on the other flanks at the moment. Germans are gearing up. And I think the Panzer H's with Stu support should win out in the open. Out in the open with long range combat, I think the German tanks are superior against the American ones. That's a Pershing though. And you did not penetrate. Right, because the AI can cheat, so it can get units they normally wouldn't be able to get with their commander. And a long time is just doing close range fire, which is just destroying the German front line here. That's the opening the Americans were waiting for, I guess. Panzerfaust though, but the Americans have not lost any vehicles here. And this German front line just got completely destroyed. King Tiger's moving in to try and stop them though. Well, the Jagdtiger and Ostwind holds up here, having a standoff with the British. King Tiger scoring a kill on that Pershing.
The enemy is attacking one of our forward buildings.
The King Tiger is definitely what the Allies need to get rid of in order to even make a comeback here. Because the Germans are just slowly getting more and more ground again. So many troops are just dying.
Ready, go ahead! Button her up. Big push coming.
Push here from the Waffen-SS for the center. More Rangers are pushing up to the front though. Killing the Russian SS. Now the 17th SS is slowly just killing what they can. But they're pulling back. Ostdeutschland is also in the front line now. Rangers trying to push through, but there is a flak covering this little angle. The Germans need to find another way to push up still. You know, the British are gearing up for a big force here. They even got a major and everything. Long Tom is firing around here, looks like. Intag is making a move.
Pioneers ready for assignment. We have a forward structure under attack.
Flag has been decrewed by the Long Tom. So many shells are landing. I don't know where they are landing. Somebody's artillery. That might be smoke. That's smoke. Okay. Intag probably needs to get into a position to move up though. They need to find somewhere they can advance. Because the Allies are slowly just stabilized the front line again thanks to all of the artillery. The Germans need to find a way to push. I know it's not easy, but you just don't want to get bogged down by the enemy. Plus, they're clearly using the tank battle out here still. The Germans have lost a lot of tanks. Storm 2 is pushing up here though with Jaeger supports. Panzergrenadiers on the flank. Off the flank is, however, held thanks to the Ostwind pretty handily. Intag needs to decide if he wants to spearhead or not. We lead the charge against the Allied front line. Or stay back as a defensive countermeasure.
Send your orders.
Not sure what the British are doing though. Just getting more and more tanks by the looks of it. More New Zealanders. Lots of New Zealanders.
Armor here.
Oh, yeah. Looks like the Germans are preparing to move up now.
Standing by.
Yeah, I guess the stormtroopers leading the way. Probably need to take out that Long Tom pretty fast. Oh, good shot there from the King Tiger. Destroying the gun itself. Vertical opening fire. Range gun trying to open fire on the King Tiger.
One of our capture points.
King Tiger still needs to be cautious. There could be a lot of AT guns pointed at it after all. Tank got decrewed there.
Tank ready.
Heavy panzer here.
Looks like it's pulling back for now. And big blob here. Somehow took out the Ostwind. He gets missed. That is so awkward to see. But I guess the Jagdtiger is scared. And Piets are not penetrating at all. As you can see. The frontal armor of the... Oh, there! One penetration! As you can tell, the Jagdtiger is just too armored. Oh, and they got it! I guess the blob did work simply because it had no supports. If the Jagdtiger has no support, it's pretty vulnerable to infantry. Pretty interesting and unexpected.
Prepare for action. Enemy fire.
And that's why you always need infantry support.
Relay order.
Probably just switch safely to a high explosive with the F8, in all honesty. Comet is pushing up, however. Well, do another Panther arriving for the Wehrmacht. Such a weird blob to look at. Jagdpanzer down because they got on the flank.
We have lost contact with a heavy tank.
So many Piets and the Comet as well. Here's the Panther though. He's tied on the Comet. Like that, good to see. So awkward to look at, but it looks like it's working somewhat. They just use some anti-infantry gear to deal with it. Yeah, now the Brits are falling back. They realize that this push is not working anymore. Up behind comes Churchill's. Ooh, F8's getting a little bit too close here. The Panther can brawl with them. Oh, good shot though. I think I won Churchill. Oh, penetrate. Penetrating the Panther? Okay. Good job, Churchill. This Churchill's getting overrun, however. Ooh, definitely been quite a weird battle. Intag is still standing here for the Germans. I actually tried to record another match earlier today, but it went out of sync, probably because the map had probably an update been played on, so this is the one I'm going to be recording today. Because that's a thing that can happen. Germans have lost some territory again, though. Can they make a comeback again? That's the question. Germans still have the Panzers. They just need to utilize them and push forwards, because the Allies are not gonna give in when they have an AI in their team, which just keeps sending men at the problem. They actually even stole the Flakpanzer. But the King Tiger will just slowly creep up and kill anything it gets across in the city. But it doesn't have a lot of sight without any infantry, as you can see. Because they're still not able to see the Sherman. Oh. And now you can see it. See, that's how short range the tank has when it does the mini infantry with it. Long-time shells are landing around though. We definitely need to get some upgrades on that thing. Captured Osvin trying to get away, but failing at it.
We just lost a medium tank.
So we have some small shells landing there, probably from our packouts.
A capture point is being overrun.
But he's trying to push for the center here again. That's basically been ruined at this point. Hard to see there was ever really an residential area here with fences and everything. They're also trying to push forward on this flank though. They're trying to overrun the British position while they can. Just because that's a bazooka team. Good bazooka shot. And from the flank here. 2 recruits. Green Tiger probably needs to get moving. You just see all the wrecks going around here. More Panzer just pushing up though. Pretty long-winded match though, but I get a feeling we might soon get to its end. Ooh, long-term shield landing right behind the King Tiger. Half on the northern flank is helping the Germans push up there. But they just need to push across the entire front, I feel. Germans have reached the current territory. So many wrecks of vehicles everywhere. Oh boy. And the British are not really doing much, they're just preparing vehicles in the rear and lots of infantry. Guess they're preparing for another blob. Which really will not work once the Germans get the gear they need to support their tanks. If they get the gear they need to support their tanks. So we have a Grenadier squad just standing around. Helping this front line with these sandbags. Awkward. Universal carrier trying to be cheeky. Here comes the British infantry blob. Yet shells landing everywhere. Oh, my explosive shells there would do so much damage. This is so awkward. It's like a suburban Meatgrinder. But it's apparently working against the German tanks because the German tanks don't have the support they need. Oh, Jagd here could fire a high explosive shot here and just basically end it. And that's what it's doing. Oh yeah, that did a lot of damage. Now the German Panzergrenadiers are moving in.
The squad's gone.
Going them down with all their machine guns and submachine guns. And the Brits surprisingly lost everything in that little push there.
Enemy got one of our squads.
completely destroyed. Holy shit.
Squad knocked out.
The King Tiger still driving around. I think it might be over the Allies at this point. Like, even they lost one of the players very early, but even with that, I think the AI could have pushed double up, but the AI seems to not do a lot anymore.
Sherman ready to go.
Regardless, though, I definitely think this has been quite a fight. Very rare we see if the Forgotten Battle that really destroys the map this much. It looks like people are starting to drop out now.
The squad of pioneers has arrived.
I guess there we go. Now it ended. Well, I hope you all enjoyed this meat grind in the suburbs. I'll see you all next time, everyone. Bye bye.